Well, hey, welcome back, James and Allie. Here's another question. We catch our kids doing things all the time, and occasionally, I remember, in time, try to catch your kids doing something right. And I don't know if you've ever heard that expression, but this idea of showing an attitude of gratitude within the home, I think, is really, really important. Sometimes in the stress and the busyness of our work and just life at home that looks so different, and schooling at home. How do you bring up that idea of gratitude and make that kind of a theme in your home?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think it goes back to what Sean and Sarah were talking about the first, and a lot of it being modeling. Even for tiny little things when they're 3 and 4 years old. Thank you for the water. Thank you for basically just showing them how we want to how we want them to say things, and how we want their attitude to be. And so I think, and one of those things would be basically doing. We got a little one here. Thanks, Theo.
It's okay.
We got Frozen 2 on there. But yeah, so one of my favorite stories in the Old Testament is when Joshua was coming across the river, and he's putting up Ebenezer stones, and he says, what do these stones mean? Tell them that the flow of the Jordan was cut off before the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord, and so like putting up Ebenezer stones, and so the big thing there would be calling them back to what I remember of being thankful for something, and so where the Lord was faithful for Allie and I in our marriage, or with me in school, or with them when they were younger, when things that we were praying for and asking for, and then telling them, hey, we were thankful for that. And so pointing back to things that we've that the Lord has been faithful with before, being really intentional about modeling to them what we would like them to do. I think that especially in this time we can get pretty grumbly, especially talking about myself. And so trying to cut that attitude off with saying, being thankful for something, talking positively about the small things that happen, or the things that are happening at home, extra time, I think writing letters especially would be a good thing for little kids. Our kiddos still have a couple of great grandparents, and so trying to do letters to them, or to essential workers, or to trying to look outside of ourselves during this time to express gratitude to somebody that you look up to. So those are a few things.
Yeah, I've tried to talk really positively about being home with them all the time, even though it has been hard. I don't want it to seem like a burden to them. So we've talked about, isn't it so fun that we've got to eat dinner together every night? So just putting the positive spin on the changes that we're seeing right now. So yeah, I think that's helped a lot. They've had a really great attitude about all the stuff that's going on right now, being at home, even though I know they're missing their activities. But I think part of it is because we've tried to be very positive about it.
Yeah, I think with especially being, we tend to talk to our kids about the whining nature of their spirit at the time, because we have young kids, and even as an adult, I still whine sometimes, and so trying to help them learn how not to whine. And so Philippians 2 is one of the things we try and work with the kids, and so do nothing from selfishness or empty conceit, but with humility of mind, regard one another as more important than yourselves. So trying to get them to remember that. It's one of the memory verses we try and use for that type of thing. So that's an extra tool too.
I have thought. I think where you were talking about just modeling it, for them, and I do think definitely as parents, we set the tone for what what our children are going to behave that day. And if we start off with a bad attitude, or being grumpy or tired, or justifying it because our days don't look the same, then they're going to pick up on that. But just so on the flip side of that, when we get up and we start having a positive outlook for the day, and finding all the good things, even though you may have to look really hard to find the positives, you can, and they're there, and then they're going to piggyback on that as well.
Yeah. And I think sometimes that this takes discipline to do this, but because I would not be, I may not say that the gratitude comment, like when I was hoping that it was going to or should be there. However, I would then go, yeah, I haven't. I would think back and go, I haven't said anything really super kind. And so I would then have to set something up, and I would say, hey, I wonder what would happen if we picked up all these toys in here. You know, I wonder how mom would feel. I just wonder. And then the kids, you know, they're like, hey, yeah, let's go. You set them up for something. And then it was like, oh, wow, look at that. You know, and then mom's happy and you're happy that they jumped in there. So even if I missed it, you know, when I should have, you know, come up to the plate and I maybe struck out, there's ways for makeup, you know, and coming back to it. So great thoughts there.